My research is looking at this pivotal moment in 1919 when there were two Washington conferences actually that women participated in. And I started the research about 5 years ago when I was a fellow at Harvard. And I was looking at all these papers. There were these amazing women writing letters, but I didn't really know who these women were. And what I've come to find is that the ILO was actually this site that brought a lot of these women together. And they were among the most prominent and powerful political women in the world at this moment. Margaret Bonfield, for example, who was one of the women I talk about, she's the first woman in the British cabinet. Kerstin Hesselgren from Sweden is one of the first women in the Senate there and becomes the chair of the parliament. So the ILO really served as a place where these women came together, met, and then stayed in contact with each other for decades, really having an impact on global social policy, but also domestic policy in their own country. There were a couple of things that were really surprising to me when I started the research. One is that I think I came to it thinking, well, these women are from different nations. There are differences in all these ways by race, class, but actually they shared a politics that bound them together. And it was a particular politics that combined economic justice, a real commitment to, well, they called it industrial justice at that point, but also the full political and economic rights of women. So that was their primary concern, and I think they were attracted to the ILO because they believed that international labor standards as well as collective organization of workers were the two ways to secure their goals. So that really bound them to the work of the ILO and connected it to the organization. A lot of these women, it's interesting, there were very powerful women politically in this period I'm looking at, 1919 up to World War II, but often they've been depicted as somewhat conservative. And that's not my assessment. They supported protective legislation, but they actually supported it for men as well as women. And they spent a lot of time trying to expand and improve the protective laws. So that's one part of their work. But they were also very committed to ending discrimination against women. Not so much in the way we think about it today in terms of affirmative action or upward mobility. What they saw was discrimination in terms of living standards, that women around the world had much poorer living and working standards than men. And so they were concerned with things like wage discrimination and improving the lives of women. So in some ways, they very much connect to concerns of raising the global floor and addressing issues of poverty because women are still the majority of the poor. So that's a continuity with the present.